Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing?
I guess you know what? I always start this way too excitable for a podcast. Like normally the podcasts start with you ones you listen to are like, you're listening to whatever podcast. Not as excitable as I usually am. I'm like, I'm very excited about it.
Well, anymore, podcasts start with a stupid ad.
Which that's true. Which, by the way, we have a new advertiser. We lost Butt Drugs.
Right.
And when that spot opened up, right? Nugenics is always there because she'll like it too. But when Butt Drugs last week dropped off, we got a new sponsor. You went and pounded the pavement.
I did, yeah. I was out with my briefcase and my tie and was in Luling, Texas. I don't know where that is, but it's in Texas someplace, in the middle of someplace, nowhere.
Ad dollars going really far in the fact that we don't know exactly where, but we love the name.
We want to curate our advertisers. We would not ask you to buy something that
Correct.
we're not already
a fan of.
So in Luling, Texas, there on 521 East Davis Avenue is Uncle Wiggley's Weiners.
What's that you say?
I said...
Uncle Wiggley's Wieners.
Uncle Wiggley's Wieners.
Nothing like an Uncle Wiggly in your mouth.
Trying to see if they don't really have a website per se. They just have a Facebook page.
So check them out, Uncle Wiggley's Wieners, and she'll like it too.
Let's read some of the reviews. Shout out to Morgan at Uncle Wiggley's Wieners for catering our lunch. The food was beautifully prepared, just as ordered, generous portions.
Of course, they're generous Wiggly Wieners.
I never thought I would feel some kind of way about chili dogs, but these are smacking good. Super cute place. We'll be back. Cynthia says, delicious homemade cheeseburgers and fried potatoes, but you haven't tried the Wiggly Wiener yet.
The meat was tasty in my mouth, but wait till you get the Wiggly Wiener in your mouth.
Customer courtesy was great. The food had that small town taste. Hey,
what does that mean?
Who are you calling small town taste?
Hey, what are you doing? Hey,
come on.
It's not about the size of the Wiggly Wiener. It's how it tastes in your mouth. And she'll like it too.
Food is good. Service is great. Prices are good. No booster chairs for kiddos, though.
No,
it's an adult place.
Exactly. It's Wiggly's Wieners. Come on, it's Uncle Wiggly's Wieners. They're not booster. Yeah, bring to Uncle Wiggly's.
Fun place. Takes you back 40 to 50 years.
Okay.
Maybe 43. I'm just guessing.
Somewhere between. 47 and a half.
Somewhere between the Carter administration and Gerald Ford-ish kind of a sort of a thing.
when it was okay to shove Uncle Wiggly Wiener right in your face. You know, those days.
Back when that kind of thing was popular.
But she'll like it too. So a big thank you to our new sponsor, Uncle Wiggly's Wieners. As we move on, a while back, if you are a big fan of this program, we don't know why, but we appreciate it, there was Taylor Shabiznes from Wisconsin.
Taylor Shabiznes.
Yeah, we brought up Shabiznes a long time ago. She went on a drug-fueled rampage where she murdered and decapitated and dismembered this dude that she had just done the hibbity-dibbity with.
Right.
All right, we won't go into all the gruesome details of the situation, but she was high on meth, and the verdict finally came down. This came back from February 2022 is when the actual murder happened, okay? There was a 3-day trial just this past week, and they found her guilty. All right. Shabiznes had already confessed to a police after the dismembering of the dude that she had put his head and genitals, quote, in a 5-gallon bucket with a beach towel before leaving the basement. And the mom had to, because this guy was living with the mom. All right. So the trial was punctuated by drama in February after she assaulted her own lawyer. Yada, yada, yada. She was convicted of all the charges against her, including the first-degree intentional homicide.
And blah, blah, blah. Cut his head off. Blah, blah, blah.
Exactly. But
used his leg as a golf club.
Yes.
Blah, blah, blah.
But the detail that we found out during the trial was apparently Shabiznes had a fascination with Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh.
Okay. A former Green Bay police lieutenant, Jenna Luberta, testified that Shabiznes' phone search history included terms like, quote, Jeffrey Dahmer, Jeff Boyardee, Jeffrey Dahmer's butt, and Jeffrey Dahmer walking into court all sexy. Were the searches on Shabiznes' phone.
Shouldn't you pick a serial killer who didn't get caught? I mean, that's not really if you're going to admire a serial killer who's like the Green River Killer, or who was that guy? I mean, there's all these
Zodiac Killer.
There's a bunch out there that we haven't found yet. It's like that's the one you want to embody,
right? And I figured, murder podcasts are the most popular, so I figured we'd throw in a little of that with the Shabusiness, a follow-up of Shabusiness, and the fact that while all the things she did were terrible and weird, the fact that you would search Jeffrey Dahmer walking in a court all sexy.
Those murder mystery podcasts are the ones that are real subtle. And in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin,
yes,
Miss
that's true.
Shabusiness was fornicating with her boyfriend when she then took out a knife and cut off his entire head.
The next thing you know, there was a beach towel filled with genitals and a head inside a bucket that the mother found unsuspectingly the next morning by her dead son's sweatpants.
We'll tell you the rest after this from Purple Mattress.
Or indeed you do. Moving on here in the Mike and Molson Too Good for Radio podcast.
This is interesting, I think. Sex dolls, we've talked about. Let's roll the clock back to when those blow-up dolls, I don't know when that was, the 60s or something, back when
that
people
was the Uncle Wiggley's Wiener's field.
Yes, exactly.
It was like 40 years ago
back
or so.
When there would be like stag parties.
Yeah.
But that's a legitimate thing that exists, is a doll that you can blow up like an inner tube.
Correct.
And I guess have sex with it.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, I've been desperate, but never that desperate.
And we now advance this into 2023 when AI is involved, and they're much more realistic and plastic and latex and all the
and robots and everything else. And then there's those that are like the seal of approval from the actual performer, who the robot is like, oh my God, it looks just like me. Go ahead, you weirdo.
Yeah, instead of like screwing a crash test dummy.
Right, or a beach ball.
Yes.
That's a sexy beach ball you got going on there.
They are more compelling looking than a mannequin now.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
So a guy is looking around in a dumpster and finds not one, but 6 faulty sex dolls. So somebody in the neighborhood said, I'm going to give this one a try. Nope. Threw it in the garbage. I'll try another one. Nope.
Can you just throw
I'm starting to think this company is not very reliable.
What is it, like is he like the Wile E. Coyote of sex doll purchasers?
I'm on number 4. Nah, this one is not quite that, but
Does he have a punch card? Buy the 5th, get the 6th one free? By the way, I feel like because they become more realistic, throwing them in the dumpster feels even weirder.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, true. That's not fair to the garbage men.
No. Who then all of a sudden sees the human hair
6
possible?
nude bodies tumbling into their garbage.
Wow! And then they're like having to stop the crusher and everything else. It's like, oh no, it's just that weird guy Bruce's sex doll.
George was out skateboarding when he saw the large boxes sticking out of the bin and said, "Hey, what are these?"
As one would do.
I see these boxes in the trash can, and I went to lift one up, and they're heavy as hell.
It's like, son of a bitch!
And I open them, and I think, man, they're sex dolls, he recalled.
Does he know that right away? If you open it up, I guess you would probably tell.
Yeah, probably the fact that they're
at least the person
large-breasted women with open mouths, I think,
probably tells you that, oh, wow, this is a sex doll.
George took his prizes home 2 at a time because, he was on skateboard.
If they're heavy as hell, what's he doing?
I don't know.
Strapping one to his back and one to the front?
A fireman carry?
Yeah, exactly. Here we go. Was he drinking cranberry juice?
He was using the skateboard as a trolley. So he wasn't on the skateboard. He was pushing them along.
Okay. 2 at a time.
His favorite, Debbie, 5'5", weighs 100 pounds, he also has a big voluptuous lady, Megan, who's 160.
Oh, okay. That's bigger, I guess. I don't know.
I don't think...
So he's got 260 pounds on a skateboard that he's pushing down the street.
So I'm sorry, I'm reading through the whole shopping list here. Yes, he's got one that's about 100 pounds, petite little woman. Then he gets a big boned 160. And he says one of the other dolls he found was, quote, a smaller one. I don't think it's supposed to be a kid because it's got a big old rack and a big booty. I have a black one, too.
Oh, my God.
But her legs are all broken.
What? Who are these people?
So he's got a big fat one. He's got a little short one with a big booty.
He's got a munchkin. He's got a Oompa Loompa.
Surprisingly, George's girlfriend was delighted when he came home with life-size sex dolls. He's got a girlfriend, you see.
The fact that George has a girlfriend's a little weird to me.
Yeah.
A guy who's willing to jump into dumpsters with his skateboard has a girlfriend.
He then discovers having sex with them was, quote, on her bucket list. She cried, "Oh my God, how did you know?"
Okay. Whatever. I don't know the pardon the pun ins and outs of the sex dolls, but good
George
for her.
believes that sex dolls can be good for a relationship, describing them as, quote, cheating without cheating. He thinks that if sex dolls were more socially acceptable, they won't be.
No, never.
There would be less infidelity, and it would make girls safer. You know, because you wouldn't be going to
going
the
around.
bar.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me grab them.
Yeah.
At first, he kept his dolls on the couch in his living room, but literally people would come in and they thought there was someone there until they really started looking at them. He's already
Did he put clothes on them, or did he just let them nude there?
Why do that? He's already sold 3 of the dolls to friends.
Okay. First,
He said, "Give me $100 and she's all yours."
First of all, okay.
I want the short one.
That one's mine with the big boobs and butt. So many questions here. First of all, right? They're coming from a dumpster. There is not enough disinfectant, cleaning. First of all, the fact that they were in a dumpster means I'm already a little weirded out. But I'm assuming they had already been used by the person who discarded them.
I don't know if that's right.
These are defective ones?
They were boxed and thrown in the trash. So it's possible that when they arrived at the sex doll boutique, that they realized that they were
something wrong.
Maybe they were recalled.
Could be,
for a safety issue.
This one's only got 3 fingers.
Right.
We got only 4 toes in this one. Maybe the one came with pre-broken legs.
Right, exactly.
Which were they're like, well, got to throw that one away.
That's a feature. It's not a fault. It's supposed to be like that. Isn't that your kink?
You weirdo. You're the one
legs going all over the place like an octopus.
All the Kimbo, as they say.
He's really upset though because one of his dolls was stolen by a friend.
That's who does that?
So he's got it's interesting that he found a girlfriend that's
who's
into
down
it
with
too.
it.
He found 3 other people
that are willing to buy.
That are like, I'm in.
What but do you have to have like a Carfax report on these things?
You should.
Of like they've been through an accident or they've seen some things.
Yeah, I've seen things.
I really think you need more backup because first of all, George took it from a dumpster and then assumed it was. What did he use? I don't even want to know what he used to clean it, but there's not enough. And you have to disclose that before you sell it for $100, don't you? Be like, hey, by the way, before you buy the little one with the big boobs and butt, I just want to let you know, found it at a dumpster. Me and my girlfriend used it already a couple times, but it's good to go. It's yours now.
And I think we've talked about this company before. I think it's called Real Doll.
Yeah.
And it's very creepy, realistic looking.
Way too. Yeah, way too much.
Way too. I think it's like, I think I want the blow-up one that looks like a life raft.
Right. I'd rather that would actually make me feel better about things if it looked like the life raft. Yeah. At least I could use that in case I was drowning somewhere.
Right. I'll have sex with a pool toy all day, but this is weird.
But this is almost too much like there'd be disappointment that they normally have with human interaction.
So that was George and his girlfriend. I would say, I put a ring on it, George. You're not going to find another one.
You're really not. You mean the sex doll? Put a ring on the sex doll?
The girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
You got a keeper.
Yeah, I guess you have a keeper. Moving on, we go from the sex doll. We're also known as the Sex and Poo podcast here on the Mike and Molson Too Good for Radio podcast.
Really only the 2 topics that interest us.
Pretty much. If you that and kind of just if it gets even the more just ridiculous, the better for us.
Somebody who has time on their hands, I would like them to go back through the 55 some episodes or whatever.
We're over like 90 some now.
Okay,
well, no, it's like 67 or something now. Yeah, that is dumb.
Why?
Why do we have that many?
But go back through them, and I would like you to chart the number of, I would like to see a graph of how many topics are sex how many are poo,
and everything else.
And then monkeys.
Monkeys, yeah. We'll see where and they all go together.
Yeah.
If we had one where someone went to the zoo and saw some monkeys having sex and the monkeys then threw poo at them, then we would just wrap up the podcast. That'd be the last episode.
And
that'd be the pinnacle.
Filter out eugenics comments because that doesn't count.
No, that doesn't count.
That doesn't count. That'll throw the curve off.
Yeah, that'll throw it way off.
Anyway, back to regular programming.
Yeah, back to learning to poo in a toilet. These two Florida cops have been suspended because they threw their 3-year-old son in a holding cell during potty training. Let me introduce
They're cops?
Yeah, let me introduce you to Daytona Beach shore officers Lieutenant Michael Schoenbrod and his wife Sergeant Jessica Long, who had handcuffed their son and placed him in a holding cell. Both parents admitted to placing the toddler in the holding cell in 2 separate incidents, as the couple had been struggling with potty training the child. The ploy was meant to scare him into using the bathroom properly.
I don't think a kid that age knows what a holding cell is. It's just a weird place where nothing is.
But how is that helping them go to the bathroom?
It's not.
Like if you're, I don't have a child, but I assumed it was positive reinforcement, right? Mm-hmm. Like you use the potty, you get some candy, or if you use it enough in a row, if you don't use it correctly, we're going to lock you into this cell, leave you alone, so that when you have to go to the bathroom, that's the memory that comes to you.
Right, and what are you going to learn there? Because really, your cellmate probably already crapped on the floor too, and wiped it on the wall. Right. So it's just bad habits.
So if you were to find out, right, what do you think the punishment is for these 2 officers handcuffing a 3-year-old child and putting him in a holding cell?
I hope they don't get to have a child anymore. I mean, I hope they take the child from them.
They both were suspended for 40 hours.
Oh, my gosh.
So they get a week suspension for not once, but twice handcuffing a 3-year-old, putting him in a holding cell and be like, you better go to the bathroom.
And this is in Daytona?
Yeah, this is down in Florida.
It's not Mayberry. It's not like there's only one person in the police station.
Because you're right, other people had to be involved with this, right? Even if you go at the dead of the night, which you probably shouldn't, because that's when the holding cell is filled with the drunks.
Because there are probably other cops that are going, hey, who's the little kid? Oh, how you doing, little guy? Don't talk to the prisoner.
Maybe, were they showing... I'm giving them way too much credit here, but were they showing that there shouldn't be any stage fright? Where they just threw him in the holding cell and be like, watch Carl over there. He is always in here every Friday night, and he has no problem doing his business in front of everybody else.
This is an ineffective punishment. I mean, first of all, don't punish a child for going to the bathroom.
Or not going to the bathroom.
You've got to do that. It's not a thing that you want to discourage, but it's really not an effective punishment.
No, it's not like putting them in handcuffs and throwing them in a holding cell, in a dark holding cell. I don't think then eases their anxiety about going to the bathroom. It's not going to let it flow when they're put in that particular situation.
Of course not.
When that's the immediate thing they think of, it's going to, if anything, stop it from happening.
And they're not going to connect the dots.
They're not.
Because it's like, okay, I went to the bathroom, which is I do naturally, and for some reason now I'm in a car ride with mom and dad. Oh, look, I see where mom and dad work. Isn't this interesting? And now I'm in this cell. Yeah. You're asking them to. I don't know that I could figure it out.
No, they're teaching them.
Did they read him his rights?
I would hope so. They're teaching him a wrong lesson. But on that topic of teaching lessons, this is an interesting story, also from Florida, I believe.
You're not going to believe it. In Daytona Beach.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Shocking.
A guy stole an alligator from a miniature golf course, where I guess they keep alligators.
Okay. That's kind of an interesting...
Swung it around by its tail, like King Kong. Like when King Kong was battling Godzilla. And threw it in the air to, quote, teach it a lesson.
What lesson were you teaching?
Police said they were patrolling around 3:20 a.m. when they saw a man, later identified as William Hodge, attempting to throw a live alligator onto the roof.
Whoops, missed. Did I have to try again? What is live alligators doing at a mini golf course, though? That's a hazard that I don't really understand.
It's an attraction at the golf course.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
Come play mini golf and see our alligators.
Gotcha, okay.
32-year-old man, he grabbed the creature by its tail, hit it against the building.
Good Lord.
Smacked it into the awning and slammed it onto the ground before throwing it over his shoulder. The officer said they approached him after seeing him throw the alligator, and he immediately put his hands up and was taken into custody. He admitted he jumped the fence into an alligator enclosure at a nearby miniature golf course and stole the gator after wrestling with it. When asked why he abused the animal, he said, "I'm teaching it a lesson."
What lesson?
I don't know that. He does not. He's not elaborate. He was taken into public safety department, and then he tried. We should have done "Stop Me When This Gets Weird."
Okay.
Because I forgot about this element. He was taken into jail and then tried to flood the jail by balling up toilet paper and clogging the toilet. Okay, this is when you put somebody in solitary confinement.
Correct. That's not how you use the toilet correctly.
Police said he threatened to flood the whole facility.
Oh, flood that facility.
Let's see, Moses.
And then I'll
Let
swim.
my people go.
I'll swim out. Yeah, I'll tell you what I'll do. I showed that alligator lesson. I bet you I flood this. They don't come in here because they know me.
He is facing charges of animal cruelty, possessing or injuring an alligator, unarmed burglary, and criminal mischief. It didn't detail what injuries the alligator suffered, if any. I'm sure it is.
Can you imagine?
Went back to the other alligator. I don't know what the hell I drank last night, but oh my God, do I have a headache.
Did you guys see that too? Can you believe what happened?
I feel like somebody smacked me up against an awning and threw me on a roof. My mouth is all dry.
You ever thought, those birds we eat? Ever wondered about them flying? I felt it momentarily. Was that a dream or is that real?
I am not drinking for the rest of the year.
I'll tell you what.
Off.
Yeah, I'm swearing off that, Jared.
Yeah. So yeah, and the it doesn't even seem like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the lesson was because it doesn't seem like the animal was harming him, harming anyone else. He just didn't like that it existed.
I just feel bad for the alligator in this.
Well, yeah,
you're just sitting there in a mini golf course, minding your own business in the middle of the night, trying to get some shut eye, and all of a sudden this jackass picks you up and swings you around and bangs you against things.
Which is already a harrowing place to be an alligator, right? Because there's miniature golf, so it's kids, and they're banging on the
things and poking you with stuff.
Probably get hit on the head with a golf ball every once in a while.
You know what I think the punishment should be? The alligator should be able to do that to him.
Agreed.
Pick him up by a leg, swing him around. How do you like that, huh?
Perfect.
How do you like that, sir?
Case closed.
Yes. Another animal story out of Florida, right?
Yes.
We have another. Is this where it is?
Oh, sure. Yeah. It is in Florida. Yeah.
Florida trifecta.
We talked last week about the neighborhood that had too many peacocks.
Yes. The guy was. What was the guy doing? Wasn't he?
He was giving them vasectomies.
That's what it was. Yeah. He was DPing their cock.
You can find that in the feed, by the way.
Yes, exactly. Please like, subscribe, share. She'll like it too.
And I guess they're being overrun by bunnies in the Wilton Manors suburb of Fort Lauderdale.
Well,
2 years after a resident let loose lionhead rabbits from their backyard, they went and multiplied.
Because they do it like rabbits.
The rabbits outnumber the 81 homes that are in this neighborhood. The invasion has divided the neighborhood's residents. Some have threatened to shoot the animals or feed them to snakes. Some want to let the bunnies roam free. Others concerned about the rabbits' safety are raising funds to save them. So now you've not only are you tripping over rabbits, but your neighbor can't. You and your neighbor can't agree as to what to do with them. One wants to shoot them. The other one wants to pet them.
Can you just randomly shoot a rabbit? I don't think that's the best way to go about it.
No, I don't think so either. Our hope was to rescue up to 45. That was our goal yesterday, but unfortunately we encountered lots of issues because the residents were hostile. Some didn't want us to take the bunnies. The city needs to approach the residents in a different way and say, hey, you guys, you need to allow the rescue to come and get the rest of the bunnies. But they haven't done that. These particular rabbits, a fluffier species, noted for their thick mane, circling around the head, aren't built for suburban Florida. Is anyone anymore, really? Yeah, the animals are prone to heat stroke, and so they've been digging holes.
Just dead rabbit.
Says they'll need.
It's too damn hot in here.
The neighborhood says they're going to need $40,000 to capture, neuter, spay, vaccinate, and microchip the 100
That's a lot going on there. Just call the peacock guy down the road, right?
Just going to get a broom and shoo them out.
Yeah, get out of here.
So far, they've only raised about half that goal, and the rabbits continue to multiply.
It is the Mike and Molson Too Good for Radio podcast.
For those of you just tuning in.
Yes, exactly. Appreciate it. I don't know why I reset. People have listened this far. They're like, thank you for letting me know what I listened to.
Just happen upon it.
Exactly. So quickly, we had a Ask Reddit question that I thought was interesting. The question was, what is your go-to joke when somebody asks you to tell one? It rarely happens, but there are the situation where someone's just like, tell me a joke. And you have to have one ready to go. Here's some of the examples that we can judge. And then if you can think of one that you would use, please, and I will follow suit. Here's one. that says their go-to joke is, I told my doctor I broke my arm in 3 places. He told me that I should stop going to those places.
That one always makes me chuckle.
Did you know that before the invention of the crowbar, crows just drank at home? One day a man is waxing the car with his son. His son looks up and says, you know you can use a rag for this, right? That's a thinker. I like that one. What's the difference between a hippo and a zippo?
What's that?
One's really heavy and one's a little lighter. That's a pretty good one, too.
I'll take that.
What did the drummer name his twin daughters?
I don't know. What?
Anna 1, Anna 2.
There
You got a couple more.
Yep.
What did the bra say to the hat?
I don't know. What did the bra say to the hat?
You go on ahead, I'll give these 2 a lift.
Nice.
And finally, the one came, why do chicken coops have 2 doors?
Why is that?
If they had 4 doors, they'd be chicken sedans. Do you have a go-to joke?
Those are all a go-to joke. I mean, I think
I know which one you're going to say.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple. I mean, the giraffe walks into a bar and says the high balls are on me. I think the grasshopper joke is always a good one.
The grasshopper one.
Grasshopper walks into a bar and the bartender says, "Hey, we have a drink named after you." And the grasshopper says, "You have a drink named Steve?"
Yes, that's a good one. I like that. I like that one.
That's always a good one.
What do you get?
The termite goes into the bar and says, "Is the bartender?"
Hey-o. What do you get when you cross an elephant and a rhino?
What's that?
Elephino. That's another one of my go-tos. Or there's a lot of explanation, but the other one I like is when Bert and Ernie go into an ice cream shop, right? And they're looking over all the different flavors or whatever, and finally Bert goes, are you ready? You ready to order? And he goes, sure, Bert. That's another one of my favorite jokes that I use.
I do like the one, though, about the college graduate who was getting his doctorate degree. He was studying the plumbing system in ancient Egypt because he wanted to be a Pharaoh Fawcett major.
It's not going to get better than that one. So that's a timely reference as well.
Right. That one worked better in 1978.
Thank you once again to our sponsor, Uncle Wiggley's Weiners, where it tastes like 40 years ago.
That's right.
We will leave you with this. It is a Am I the A-hole, which I think is pretty obvious in this particular one. All right. This comes to us from a 34-year-old female who says, my boyfriend, 25, was recently told he has to go out of state for a series of appointments as he has been having seizures. He asked I come with him as he is worried and needs someone. Problem is, I have a concert ticket booked out of state as well that I have had in place for a year. I barely have been getting time off with my job, so this is important for me to get away from all the stress. I haven't had me time in years between work and my kids. He intentionally scheduled during the time I'm supposed to go out of town when he had other dates he could have chosen that I would have gladly gone with him on. He has no other job other than playing with stocks all day. I feel he did this as a way to be controlling and manipulative, or am I overreaching? Am I the a-hole? He's guilt-tripping now, saying if I had cared for him, I'd cancel my plans to be with him.
These two are made for each other.
They are. So he's got a doctor's appointment because he's been having a medical situation where he's been having seizures.
Right. She's dating Mitch McConnell, apparently. Sorry. Too soon. Mitch.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Do you want to go back to your office, Mitch?
Yes, please. I'd like that very much so.
Do you want some light cream?
Can I get some Pedialyte? Yeah. I was just a little bit dehydrated as I stared off into an abyss. This is what happens. You have old bastards as running your government.
That was...
Between idiots fumbling and not knowing how to get out of a door, just randomly walking off stage, or freezing up. Who the hell is running this country?
I don't know.
But anyway, back to the a-hole.
Sorry.
They're made for each other, right?
She would need to... I would like to know how she knows that he intentionally scheduled it at her most inconvenient time.
I don't know if you have options for
Conversely, he's saying, well, if you cared about me, you would. And, if you got to go away for a procedure, yes, it'd be nice if the girl comes with you, but if you got to go, just go do the thing. What's she going to do?
I mean, if you're all of a sudden having seizures out of nowhere, It's a little weird on your psyche.
I would think it would be.
And if you're in a relationship, it doesn't say how long they've been together, right? I also like how she says, he doesn't really have a job, just fiddle around with stocks all day online. Okay, maybe that is a job. Maybe he's a day trader. But when it comes to medical stuff, it's not like you have a vast array. If it's that important to where they want you to go see a specialist somewhere, it's not like if you're dealing with a medical thing, you go, boy, I'd really like to go this weekend, but you know what?
Right.
She's got a concert, so I'm going to punt it to someplace else.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no. There is no chance that these people are coming over to my house for a cocktail party. They're just
Not
awful.
at all.
They just
Not at
seem
all.
really terrible.
And I love how she's like, well, I need more me time. So how dare him schedule it for me time? Things happen in life, right? And to your point, if she's going to be this way, don't guilt her, right? If she's already showing her true colors.
Yeah.
And so don't guilt her to be like, if you cared about me, you come with. It's like, well, obviously she doesn't care. She'd rather go see whatever concert this is.
I know we're all bad at taking vacations and just getting away for a little bit, but I also don't have a running tally of how much me time I take.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
That's always weird to me when people say, "Well, now this has happened. Now I'm owed this."
Right. I need me time. I've worked so hard. I need some me time. And what does that involve?
Oh, man, just go read a book or something.
Yeah,
Shut
exactly.
up.
The me time is I have to do this and I have to do that.
Yeah.
You know what my dad's me time was his entire life? Taking a dump.
Yeah.
That was
Sex and poo.
Yeah, that's what it was. That was his me
That's
time.
what Steve Wenmacher would do.
Yeah, exactly. It would every Sunday was his me time where he'd be in with the Sunday Tribune for an hour and a half. And the worst part was I would take this when I got older, I would take the sports section and I would read it and forget about it. And inevitably you'd hear like a bang on the wall and then you'd hear him yell from the back bathroom, "Hey, where's that sports section?"
Also, my legs are asleep. Can you come in and shake them a little bit for me?
Yeah, when you bring in the sports, could you kick him a little bit? Maybe bring that hammer, that they use in the doctor's office? Make sure my reflexes are still working? Thanks, son. So, yeah, that's the me time.
Yeah, right.
But I don't know.
That's not a thing that I seek out.
I understand you need it for your own thing to kind of just mentally just kind of recharge the batteries. But to be like, I need a whole trip and you're invading my me time with your medical emergency, you dick. I kind of feel like maybe that's a bridge too far.
Yeah, you're both awful.
Yeah, you're both awful. But you know what would help both of them? Nugenics, because she'll like it too. And a nice night out at Uncle Wiggley's Weiners.
And a sex doll from the dumpster.
One that's a little on the small side but has big boobs and butts. Enjoy.